Welcome everybody to a brand new episode of That's a Wrap. I'm Caboose.
I'm Eddie the Answer.
And today what we got for you guys here is another episode of our countdown to Endgame. In this episode, we're going to be talking about Captain Marvel and the Skrulls and whether or not they're going to make an appearance here in Avengers Endgame. Before we get into everything, I wanted to ask you guys, of course, if you could leave a like rating on the video as it shows your support, and we really appreciate it. So if you could leave a like, that would be awesome. And with that said, well, we also wanted to reiterate again something we announced in our first week about this giveaway that we're doing. If you want to explain it a little bit, go ahead.
So I did see a lot of comments from the fans in this last video. And just to keep in mind, everybody, we're going to do some giveaways. We're going to be doing this every single week. So the third week of every single month is where we'll take the suggestions, the ideas from the fan through Twitter or the comments. And then the week after, we'll be picking a fan that gave us an idea for a topic, and we'll cover it in that fourth week, and that fan will get a prize.
That's right. So leave your comments, give us some topics, some things that may be worth talking about for Avengers Endgame. And then when we get to the end of the month, when we get to our fourth episode here, one of you guys will be selected as the winner, and that will be the topic that we talk about. And then you'll win a prize of some sort. So obviously, if you plan on entering, make sure you're keeping up to date with the series and coming back each episode to see if you've won. But all right, all that out of the way now. Let's jump into the topic that we have today. We're talking about Captain Marvel. We're talking about the Skrulls. I think first let's get to Captain Marvel, right?
Yes. And I tell you, this is another tricky situation for Marvel. And I want to just quickly mention from that TV spot or the little extra...
The new trailer that we got,
I actually saw a lot from that.
I agree.
Really, her powers looked a lot more powerful. She talked a little bit. There was some humor. It was finally able to see some emotion from her.
I agree.
So just that little clip there gave me a little bit more of a different idea of Captain Marvel. Now, leading into this movie, as I said, another tricky situation for Marvel. They usually always stick the landing. They never have any problems with that, but you don't know how Captain Marvel is going to perform.
I agree.
So, what are you going to do? Does she have a lot of screen time in this movie or not? Because say it does not perform and she does have a lot, I don't know how that will be perceived by the fans. So I think they're going to go on the side of caution, and I truly don't think she'll have a lot of screen time in this movie. She will make an impact, but I don't think there'll be a lot of screen time.
I don't agree, but I also understand where you're coming from. It's a very similar situation with Black Panther that we got in Infinity War. Coming off the heels of his movie, there was no way that they could have known it was going to be as massive of a success as it was.
But he was in Civil War for a little bit, so we got to at least introduce the character.
True. But just in that, what I'm trying to say is, we got to see Black Panther in his solo movie, and then he ends up in Infinity War, but he didn't really have too much to do or have that much screen time in Infinity War. I think, though, it's a different situation here because of the fact that in Infinity War, the big tease, the only post-credit scene we get for the movie is that Captain Marvel is coming. So I think she is going to play a big factor simply because of that and because of how powerful she is based on what you're saying, on the latest trailer that we saw. It's showing that she is very powerful. One of, if not the most powerful Avenger, it looks like.
It definitely
right up there with Thor.
And I think we've seen limitless to what she can do right now. We haven't seen anything as to what she can do.
We haven't seen any vulnerability from her, and that's because we haven't seen her movie. I'm sure we'll get some of that
we're going to get a lot out of it,
But again, I do think she will play a big role. I think she's going to be instrumental in the battle against Thanos here because alongside someone like Thor or the Hulk, she's going to be the one to deal some blows against him. She's going to be the one to get some hits in.
So. Well, I've got the same thinking along those lines, Caboose. I do think she's going to be a factor in penetrating Thanos or bringing them to the final fight, but I don't think she'll deliver the final blow.
No, I don't think so either.
She'll deliver the final blow. She'll be instrumental in it, and I think to just show Thanos' power, because we already did see it with the Gauntlet, I think as like he hurt Hulk, he's going to hurt Captain Marvel as well. I think they're just going to show that power from Thanos, because I mean, who else is going to be battling them but Thanos? I don't know if he'll have minions or whatever, but I think he's going to be one to at least hurt her.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. That'll be just a nice way because if she is as powerful as she seems to be in these trailers, it would be cool to see, Thanos is just that much more powerful if you would be able to actually hurt her,
And if it's even without the stones, because we don't know where the Infinity Gauntlet's going to lie, but either way, we'll see. I truly think a big part of this movie is going to be paying homage to the original class. I think that's going to be an integral focus, especially Cap and Iron Man. They brought us 10, 11 years in the making to this point. And who knows what's going to happen after this. Even if they don't die, we know they're not going to be as much in future movies, so they have to pay some respects here.
No, I totally agree with you. This movie is going to be about the OG Avengers, but it's not to say like Captain Marvel or even someone like Rocket, who's still alive after the snap, won't play a factor. They will definitely have their roles in the movie. They just won't take away from the originals, I don't think. I just think that, Captain Marvel will have stuff to do here. And as I've previously speculated when we did our trailer breakdown, I think she's going to be the one to save Tony from space. I think she's the one who's going to cross paths with Tony, and that's how they're going to meet, and that's how she ends up, interacting with the Avengers in some way.
In which I disagreed with you, but anyway.
Because I think, if she just shows up to Earth, if she's there to just fight Thanos herself, she's got to have some way to connect and be involved with the Avengers. And I feel like that would be a good way to do so. But another like a side topic we wanted to talk about here as well, because a big thing in Captain Marvel is that there are Skrulls.
Yes. And
for those who know, in the comic books, that is a huge storyline. The secret invasion, the idea that someone within the team of Avengers has been a double agent, a Skrull the entire time. Do you think that anything like that could happen in Endgame?
I've got a real simple answer to this one. No.
Okay.
I really don't. I don't think there is going to be a sniff of Skrull anything in this movie.
Okay.
It's too much of a question mark. It's too much of a variable to add that into this movie.
Right.
It'll just cause so many question marks, so many plot line stories to develop, and you just can't do it in this movie.
Yeah, okay, I totally understand what you're saying. I don't think it'll be in the movie itself. I don't think it'll be, in the first, second, or third act. But I do think it will be a post-credit scene.
I truly don't.
I think there's no way, especially considering the fact that at one point Marvel wasn't actually allowed to use the Skrulls. The fact that they are is a huge deal. And I don't think they're just going to use them for Captain Marvel and that's it. There has to be, I feel, some sort of setup here for the next phase of Marvel movies. And unless they want to make that about the Fox Marvel characters, which they totally can do, I feel like there are going to be some sort of tease in the after credits that someone was a Skrull. And I don't think it'll be any of the Avengers.
Right.
The reason that I don't think it'll be any of the main Avengers, like a Captain America or something, is because that'll just ruin the character development that character had.
It really will. The Skrulls is just such a variable.
But what I do think is it'll be someone from the outside looking in. So I think maybe my theory is that if there's someone who is going to be a Skrull, it'll be Nick Fury. Yep. And I think that'll make the most sense because, people like Nick Fury, but no, he wasn't like a main character or anything in the films. So if he ends up being a Skrull, it would be huge because he has all the intel on the Avengers. He knows who everyone is. He knows their powers, their vulnerabilities, and everything. So if he ends up being a Skrull, that's a huge twist.
Now, I see why you say Nick Fury because it does make sense. But when I'm thinking about Nick Fury, he has been one that has been in almost every single movie.
Yeah.
Either small scenes as the leader or whatever, it's too much of a variable for it to be him. Why did he wait so long then to do something? Did he just take 10 years of gathering intel maybe?
Probably.
That could be an answer, but I'm just really, really iffy on the whole Skrull thing.
Okay, I understand. I know that's such a tricky thing to deal with, especially if they were to do something like an Avenger ends up being a Skrull, because that would just ruin it for me. Unless it's someone like, although I really love Hawkeye, unless it was someone like Hawkeye, then I would be like, okay, fine, I'll give you that one. But I really hope it's more so someone from like the outside looking in.
It has to be an impact character. I'm not saying Hawkeye.
It can't be someone like Agent Hill.
It just can't be a jobber.
Yeah,
no, it can't be. It can't be. So we will see. Another thing I wanted to ask you, kind of an outside prediction that I have if we're getting back to Captain Marvel.
Okay.
As I said, I think she'll have an impact in this movie, but I think the way she's going to end up in this movie is going to be a question mark. Either just really hurt or something. And I'm going to go as far as to say this next phase of the next Avengers movie, I don't think she's going to be in it.
I completely disagree with you.
Fair enough.
They're setting up the new Avengers here. We got Doctor Strange, Black Panther, Spider-Man's in there now. Scarlet Witch, of course, Vision, although I don't know if he's coming back or not.
Right.
That's all iffy. But with Captain Marvel, we have now a solid team of Avengers outside of the originals. Although I do think some originals will still be around. Like I think Thor will still be around and stuff like that. We'll have to see. But yeah, I think for sure she's going to play a big role going into the next phase of Marvel movies because all the same with Black Panther and the impact that character has culturally, Captain Marvel will have a very similar impact. The first female-led superhero movie from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I feel like she will play a big role going forward.
They may ride that. So let me ask you, Caboose, what do you think? First, second, third act, where does she make the appearance and what impact does she have? How does she interact with the characters?
Well, I guess that all depends on my theory of her meeting Tony and where that lands in the movie.
Your wrong theory? Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Well, what is your theory? How do you think she gets involved with the Avengers? How do you think that happens?
I was torn on this one, and I just don't know how she's going to fly down. Obviously, she's going to get this page from Nick Fury.
Right.
And I think it's going to be to the second to third act of the movie, but she ain't going to come down during a big battle scene. She's going to come down and try and find a Cap or Tony is already there. And then what's going on? How can I help? I'm here to help.
Exactly, because she got that page, so she's trying to go to the source of that. She's first of all going to try and find Nick Fury.
Yes.
Probably go to wherever S.H.I.E.L.D. is supposed to be at that time.
Maybe the S.H.I.E.L.D. headquarters.
And maybe it ends up being the Avengers
We just don't know. And I think this will definitely remain a mystery with any other trailer that comes out. We're not going to... They're going to keep so many things a mystery. I'd love to hear what the fans think. What do you think? Me or Caboose on this one?
Yeah, and I don't even know if they'll show Captain Marvel much in these trailers for Endgame, because I feel like maybe her role, not necessarily will be a spoiler, but it'll be something worth finding out for yourself.
Yes.
You know? So, but again, based on my theory, it all depends on when Tony gets saved from space, because he has to get saved, you know?
No, he does.
So I do think that is going to be something that happens early on in the movie, so I feel like we'll probably be introduced to Captain Marvel early on in the movie. And then what I think is they'll get introduced to each other. Tony's like, oh my God, you saved my life. And then we won't see them for a little bit, and they'll show up again later in the second act, closer to the third act.
We will have to see.
We will have to see. But all right, that is our topic for today, and now we kick it to you guys. Let us know your thoughts on this in the comments section below. What do you think Captain Marvel's role will be, and what do you think about the Skrulls? Do you think anyone's going to be a Skrull, and that will be revealed in Avengers Endgame? We want to hear your comments, or we want to hear your thoughts in the comments, and I'm sure you're ready to see what people got.
Yeah, I can't wait to interact on this one, because this is such a big question mark.
Yeah. And with that said, I'm Caboose.
I'm Andy the Answer.
And if you could leave a like rating on the video, once again, it shows your support, and we would really appreciate it. And you can click on screen to make your way to one of the other videos on the channel, or you can click my logo to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Please follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and like us on Facebook. The links are in the description. Drop a like if you enjoyed, leave a comment if you have an opinion, and subscribe if you're new.
That's a wrap.